Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our listening podcast. Today, we're going to talk about why humans love stories more than facts. While you're listening, you can head over to our Facebook page and find today's quiz. The questions are based on this podcast, so listen carefully for key ideas, details, and vocabulary. Take your time, stay focused, and most importantly, enjoy listening. Let's get started. Why humans love stories more than facts. Have you ever noticed something interesting? You can forget a list of facts within minutes, but you can remember a story for years. Think about your school days. You might not remember exact dates from history lessons, but you probably remember a dramatic story, a brave hero, a tragic mistake, or a shocking betrayal. This is not an accident. Humans are wired to love stories. But why is that? Today, let's explore why stories capture our attention more powerfully than facts, and what this tells us about the human brain. Let's start with facts. Facts are important. They are accurate, objective, and reliable. However, facts often exist in isolation. They don't always connect to our emotions or personal experiences. When we hear a list of facts, our brain treats them like information to be stored or ignored. Stories, on the other hand, do something different. A story gives facts a context. It places information inside a situation with people, problems, and emotions. When we listen to a story, we don't just hear it, we experience it. Scientists have found that when we listen to a story, multiple parts of the brain become active, not only the language areas, but also the areas responsible for emotion, imagination, and even movement. In simple terms, the brain doesn't sit back and relax, it gets involved. This is why stories are so compelling. Another reason we love stories is emotional engagement. Facts tell us what happened. Stories tell us how it felt. Imagine hearing this fact. Many people migrated to other countries in the 20th century. Now, compare it to a story about a young family leaving their home, saying goodbye to loved ones, and starting a new life in an unfamiliar country. The second one stays with you, doesn't it? That emotional connection creates empathy, the ability to understand and share another person's feelings. When we feel empathy, information becomes meaningful. It is no longer just data, it becomes human. And once emotions are involved, memory improves. This is why stories are often easier to remember than charts, statistics, or definitions. Stories also help us make sense of a complex world. Life is messy. Events don't always follow a clear order, and outcomes are often uncertain. Stories help us organize chaos. They usually have a beginning, a middle, and an end. There is a problem, a struggle, and some kind of resolution. This structure gives us a sense of coherence. Things feel connected and understandable. Even when the story is sad or unfinished, it still feels more satisfying than random facts. That's why humans have been telling stories for thousands of years, long before books, schools, or the internet existed. Stories were used to explain nature, teach values, and pass on wisdom. They were our original textbooks. There's also a psychological reason. Stories reduce cognitive load. In simple terms, our brain gets tired easily when processing dry information. Facts require effort. Stories, however, flow naturally. They guide the listener along a path, making understanding feel effortless. You could say stories help us connect the dots without realizing we are learning. This is why teachers, advertisers, leaders, and even politicians often rely on stories. A well-told story can persuade, inspire, and influence far more effectively than a list of facts ever could. That doesn't mean facts are useless. Facts matter. They keep us grounded in reality. But without stories, facts struggle to stick. When facts and stories work together, learning becomes powerful. The facts provide accuracy, and the story provides meaning. As the saying goes, facts tell, but stories sell. So, next time you are trying to learn something or teach someone else, remember this. If you want information to be remembered, don't just present facts. Wrap them in a story. Because when it comes to the human brain, stories don't just inform us, they move us. That's the end of today's episode. Make sure you complete today's quiz and comment your answers below or on our Facebook page. The answers will be shared shortly. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more listening practice like this. Thanks for listening, and see you in the next episode.